Hello, friends. I'm Bernard Watts. You're tuning in to Sports Talk with BWatts Entertainment, and I'm your host for the show tonight. Also, we'll have Rod the Man Media along with Coach Drake and a few guests will appear on this show tonight. I'm excited about the show tonight. First of all, I want to say thank you to our sponsor tonight. That's glhealthadvisors.com. The agent there is Gail E. Lawrence. If you're looking for affordable health insurance, give Gail a call or text her at 817 381 1500. Want to thank our sponsor tonight. That's glhealthadvisor.com. If you need affordable health insurance, give Gail E. Lawrence a call at 817 1500. And if you're tuning in, if you have a business that you want to advertise during this broadcast, just give us a call or contact one of us and we will take care of that for you. Well, let me get off this and bring in the guests. See, can I get them up?
Yo, yo, yo.
What's going on?
Not much, not much.
Hope y'all had a good day.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, panel. Good to see y'all today. How y'all doing?
Wonderful.
How you
Wonderful,
doing,
man.
Coach? How you doing, Coach Dre?
I'm good. I'm good, bro. I feel good. Feel good.
Miss Johnson, how you doing?
All is well. Thank you
All
for having
right.
me.
Yes, ma'am. We just like to say, Rod, you trying to say something? Go ahead.
Nah, I was talking to Dre. He knew what I was talking about.
Okay, all right. But like I said, glad to have y'all on the show tonight. The topic of the show tonight is "Don't Touch Two." We all know what that means. That means don't touch the quarterback. That's Shedeur, who is the starting quarterback for Colorado Buffaloes football team under the leadership of his dad, Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. But before we do that, hey, I'm gonna let each one of y'all have an opening statement. And before we get into the questions, just introduce yourself to the panel and also the people that are tuning in and who might tune in later on once this video is posted to our social media platform. So we're gonna start with we'll start with the ladies first. Miss Johnson, go ahead, just introduce yourself. Don't get too far into it because we're gonna say that for afterward. Just introduce yourself and let us stay at
Okay, well, hi, I'm just Gidget Johnson. I'm here.
that. All right, Dre.
Uh, Coach Ray, assistant coach at Eastside High School here in Gainesville, Florida.
Okay, Rod is on you.
Rob the Man Media, CEO. I go by Rob. But yeah, man, CEO of Rob the Man Media. As always, man, it's a blessing to be on. You know how we do it every Sunday. So let's get this thing going.
All right. I see we got almost 80, almost 100 people in the watching right now. We want to appreciate each and one of y'all who tuning in. And also, don't forget to participate in the chat and look like they already have. Good gracious. But we want to thank all y'all for tuning in and we hope you participate in the chat. Hey, I'm going to get down to the offensive coordinator, Pat Sherman. You know, Pat Sherman has been brought on to be the head man in charge for this offense this year. We know they kind of struggled last year. They get off to a 3-0 start, and then somewhere along the line, things fell apart on the offensive line. Now that Pat Sherman's in charge for this offense, I expect bigger and better things from him. Coach Prime hit that transfer portal. He brought in some new players from the transfer portal, and look like they got a new offensive line this year. I'm not saying who's gonna start. I don't know who's gonna start, but it's five players that I want to concentrate on. And when I call their name, just let me know what you think of them and what's your expectation of them. chat if y'all tuning in. I see Big LT is in, Miss Shirley. We got Dr. Angela McIntyre is in. Solid Gold, Miss Mary. Oh, Miss Mary, that's my supervisor. What's she doing here? What's up, Mary Jo? And we got financial choices. All right, here's the first guy name. And we're going to let the ladies start first. Our guest start first. Kalea Benson. They brought him in from the transfer portal. What do you know about Kalea Benson, Miss John?
Was transfer from Indiana, about 6'6", 305 pounds, four-star
Okay.
undergraduate. He got a couple of
Okay.
years left to play. He only gave up one sack, 424 on the pass attempts, and if he can bring that to Colorado, then they're going to be in good shape.
All right then. Okay. All right. Okay, Coach Jay. What you think about Khalil Benson? What you think he's gonna bring to the team this year?
I mean, he brings an intensity that we didn't have. He brings a leadership quality that I haven't seen. Um, and like I say, he's a big human being. And when you, he's strong, he's physical, and so I like legitimacy of him being a leader and his already being a play power five and only giving up one sack. You hardly ever find a lineman that can do that. You know what I'm saying? When you find a lineman that's only giving up one sack, then you in good business. So I expect him to be a dominant force up front for us this year.
What you think about Rod? What you think about Khalil Benson? What he gonna bring to the table this year?
Before I get into Khalil Benson, shout out. You can't forget about Phil Longhouse, right? Who is the offensive line coach? What he's teaching, what he's doing for these young men, is incredible. You see the teaching, you see the leadership coming to piece. You see everything that you want to see at an offensive line when it comes to gelling. But Khalil Benson, he came in, he's on a mission, 1 year to play, looking to go to the NFL, ready to go. But I will say this is the favorite season to be looking out for. We finna add some offensive linemen. We finna add some defensive linemen. Transfer portal's about to open. As y'all can see, chaos has already started, and it's going to continue to start. But Khalil Benson is definitely a starting piece to that offensive line being different this year, coming from the University of Indiana.
Okay, I like all them takes on that. But like hold on. Miss Nicole said T Nicole. I think she said Benson seemed like a good leader and that he really wants to produce out there. I agree with that. Mr. Steve Woodland said mean, nasty, strong, hungry to get to the next level. Well, he right on point on that. I agree with him on that. And let's see. Also on this offensive line, we got Tyler Johnson. We'll start with the ladies first. What you think about him, Miss Johnson?
We're looking forward to seeing him in the spring game in a couple of weeks, right? Everybody's looking forward to the spring game, but he transferred from Houston, 6'5", 330 pounds, right guard, gave up one sack, 411 pass attempts last season. I don't know what else were you looking for?
All right. Okay, Miss Johnson. All right. Say he came from Houston, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You say he gave up one sack and 411 pass attempt.
Yep.
That's pretty good at a right guard. What you think about him, Rod?
Oh, I mean, when you look at Johnson, it's another depth piece. Solid lineman. Came in, transferred into Colorado this season. Looking for another solid offensive lineman, right? Somebody else that can protect too. But it's gonna be competition, right? You can't pencil him in as a starter just yet. There's gonna be some competition, but it's definitely a solid piece that we need on the offensive line that adds depth to this offensive line. That's coming in hungry, motivated, and ready to go. Go ahead, Jay.
Coach Gray?
I mean, at the end of the day, like you say, it's gonna be competition. Nobody's gonna be handed anything. I like the kid. I like his intangible. I like he got quick feet. He got great hands. If he put his hands on you, you gonna move. When you talk about 400 pass attempts, you only give up one sack. Hey, you get what I'm saying? And that's in the Big 12 football where we going. So we already know he's adapted to he knows about the Big 12. He knows the kind of guys he's gonna go up against. So I like the way that he came in and he's working. And like you say, he's working hard. We see what he's doing. But with him coming from the Big 12, I feel good about the way he's coming in and he knows what he's going against.
Yeah. At his size, man, 6'5", 325 pounds, you only giving up one sack last year. Imagine if he bring that kind of game to Colorado, what kind of season they can have. Coach Ray, you think if he bring that intensity and if he producing out there on the practice field, think Coach Ryan give him a shot at starting?
I mean, everybody gonna have like I've always told y'all. I want 13 linemen, so I want five that's gonna start. If you in the second rotation, you one play away. You one play away from being a starter. So you right there. Then I want three. I want three guys behind me that we feel good about. Right now, from what I see, I think we right at that number. But I think that's we right at that number with everybody being healthy. And I don't think everybody's healthy right now. So I know we're gonna add some more. But if he can come out there and show us that he can do what he did at Houston last year, yeah, I got to pencil him in as a starter. If he can show us that he did what he did at Houston last year, no doubt.
Okay. Raw, I'm just want to ask you this personal question. I don't want nobody else on the panel to answer. I want you to answer. All right. Listen up in the chat. Y'all go along with me. Tell me something about Tyler Brown. Last year he was at Jackson State, right? 2 years ago he was at Jackson
Yeah.
State with Coach Brown, right?
Hmm.
And last year, why they didn't play him? Explain to the panel and the people in the chat why he didn't get a chance to play last year.
So he did play in the spring game last year. After that, the NCAA ruled him ineligible. They didn't approve his waiver. He applied. He applied, didn't get approved for his waiver. Then after the waiver, he protested, and they still denied him. After they approved another player, a different situation at a different school. It's just one of them situations where the NCAA had their hands on it, and that's the reason why he didn't play last year. But outside of that, I mean, you're looking at a kid that's going to be a rock to this offensive line that wants to do anything and everything to protect Shedeur Sanders. He looks at Shedeur Sanders as his body. I mean, he wants to be the bodyguard for Shedeur Sanders. So, it's a kid that's gonna come in hard work. He understands what's the how to paint this picture, what the narrative is gonna be, the big lights. He's been around Prime and Shedeur for 3 years now. So nothing's changing. He still got this year, next year to play. But he's ultimately looking to come in and shine this year and go to the NFL, just like the rest of these other linemen that we've been talking about in the previous. So this is offensive lineman that the name of this game is let's get better, let's gel, and let's all eat together. And that's why we got this motto of protect two. Don't touch two. That's the motto, and that's why we see what we see right now. But Tyler Brown is the engine that's going to push everything forward.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I like that. I like that. Coach Ray, just that for you on. You on. All right. We still got Kareem Harden, 6'5", 315 pounds. He's a JUCO. And we got Savion Washington. He was there last year. Played real good last year. The first three games. Then when he got that injury, they're like the whole offense just went down. And then we got Jordan Seaton and Yakira Walker. Out of those four players right there, won't it be good for Colorado to continue to have them on their roster to build that corrallment and have depth on this offensive line going forward?
Yeah, it would, but I don't know about everybody, so we ain't gonna speak on it. We'll speak on. We know that the freshman gonna start. You get what I'm saying? Because he's as advertised. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That Jordan Seaton is what everybody thinks he is. He's came into Colorado and showed that he's exactly what people thought he was. I like Kareem Harden. I think he's a nice piece. I think that he's gonna give us a great, solid work. I know he's been working hard. He's got bigger, faster, stronger. So I like the way he's gonna work. So with those two, I feel like we got solid. We got a solid starter and maybe a solid number two guy. With the other guy, we shall see what happens with him. We won't speak on it. We'll just see what happens between now and the 30th.
Okay, thanks. All right, before I go to Miss Johnson, Rod, tell me something about them four players before I go to Miss Johnson on the next question.
All thing I can say is, out of those four players, there's a possibility one of them might hit the portal. Allegedly, I'm not. It is what it is. At the end of the day, players gonna come and go. What I can say is this: the portal opens on Tuesday. A lot of players are entering the portal tomorrow, but officially opens on Tuesday. What you're gonna see is you're gonna see players visiting Colorado. So when you talk about what this offense line is right now, it ain't finished. It ain't a finished product. We're gonna add more pieces, and it's gonna be competition on who's gonna start. So just be patient with this offensive line. What you see in the spring game, all those pieces might not be there once we get to fall camp. So y'all just remember that.
Okay. All right. Appreciate you on that. Okay, Miss Johnson. This player right here, Justin Myers. He's a newcomer. This is his first spring practice that he'll have. What have you seen from him? What do you think of him so far?
Justin Myers is the transfer from University of Texas at El Paso. It's right guard, 6'5", 320 pounds. Only gave up 2 sacks in his past 2 seasons, so he's looking pretty good coming in. We'll have to see what he actually is able to do with the team,
Okay.
but he's looking good coming in.
Okay. What you think, Rob?
Another foundational piece to the offensive line. When you look at what he can do versatility wise, right guard, left guard, I mean, that's the type of versatility. When you look at all these players right now on the offensive line, they all got versatility. The only person that you know that's guaranteed locked in at one spot is going to be Seaton, which is the left tackle. Everything else, everybody's versatile. They can play either guards or tackle or center. So it's still up to in the air to see. But I do like Justin starting right now at the left guard, and another solid piece to this offensive line.
Coach Dre?
Yeah, I mean, I got him penciled in as a starter. I like. He's another big body, another kid who has playing time experience, and that's the key right now. And with the Rob said something at the beginning that's key. Coach Phil is the biggest piece. When you go and you watch these videos and you look at the videos, you see him coaching, you see him teaching, you see him not hollering. He ain't even got to holler like that, but he telling them, hey, this just
Oh, he
ain't gonna
got the
cut it. This
attention,
ain't.
boy.
Yeah, he got the attention, and when you a football coach, when you got guys attention like that, these guys will run through a brick wall for you. You got something going, and I think we got a great nucleus of guys. They spending time together on and off the football field, and that's what you need. That's got to be the closest. That got to be the closest group on your football team, and I think we got that right now.
I got Big George Higgman, who just joined the staff from Colorado. He just hit me up on LinkedIn. He on the wrong link. You got to come hit him, Big George. Go to the YouTube. I mean, the StreamYard link. If you tuned in, he just hit me up on LinkedIn. But sorry about that, y'all. But okay, that's enough Colorado talk about. Let's get to this NFL agent that we have on the panel, Miss Gigi Johnson. So, Miss Johnson, tell us about your agency and tell us exactly what do you do.
So the name of my agency is Athletes Lair. It is just what it sounds like. A lair is a safe space, right, for athletes. And I've been a certified NFL agent for this is my 3rd season now. I've had some talented athletes that haven't been picked up as of yet, but we're hopeful for this season or this draft season that our player will get picked up and get on a roster, right?
Okay.
Because
Right.
otherwise you have to sit for the test after 3 years if your players don't get placed on a roster. So I've I created Athletes Lair or started Athletes Lair after my son. I had a son that was a football player. He played for Navy and then he transferred to North Carolina A&T and COVID hit and then injuries. And then he just stopped playing because that was the best thing for him. And so I started studying for the exam when he graduated high school. And then when I took the test the first time, I didn't pass. And so I had to study some more, just keep studying.
Okay.
And then COVID hit and they didn't offer the test. And so I had to just continue to study. And I got with I was in a big study group, and then I found two people who I figured kind of had something to offer to the group, and I said, hey, y'all want to study together, just the three of us. And so I kind of removed and picked my own group, and I ended up able to pass the next time. Just a testimony to not give up on your dreams. It's the same thing for players that don't get picked up right out, right? Or the player that has to sit the bench or not play. You don't get the starting position right away when you get into college. And so it's a life testimony for me, and I'm an example of fight hard for what you want, work hard for what you want, and just don't give up. You can do anything that you put your mind to. And yeah, I took 23 years, I'm almost 22 years of practicing law. And I took that with the hopes of hopes of helping the troubled player, right? Like Antonio Brown, right? In my
Yeah,
head, I can take everything that I've done as an attorney and help the athlete not get into trouble. Like I can foresee issues that may prevent them from, and now the NFL ain't playing right about the things that you can and cannot do. Like they are really hard on the players. They're making rules and regulations such that you got to think way ahead to keep yourself in a clean and positive without a bad background going in, or else teams may not be able to pick you up anyway, And so domestic violence, drugs, you're almost better off being addicted to a substance versus striking your spouse, right? And thinking that you're going to remain in the league. And so because there is something in place for drug addiction, or substance use disorder is what it's called now, but there's not so much in place for someone that is engaged in domestic violence, or it doesn't even have to be domestic violence, but DUIs and that kind of thing. So I've taken these 22 years of practicing law and trying to help the athlete get out of his own way and get out of his head. And I have a team of people that are that I've surrounded myself with and collaborated with, and we kind of just meet the player where they are and help them to become their best selves on and off the field.
okay. Rod, you got a question for Miss Johnson?
First of all, salute to you.
Thank you.
Everything that you're doing. It's good to see, woman empowerment, being able to be in that type of position to help young athletes grow, or mature adults grow and elevate their life. What would I would say is, my question for you is, what advice would you give a up and coming college kid with potential to go to the NFL? What's the best advice that you would give to them right now?
To keep your body in shape, stay drug free, and I will say the same thing that I say to criminal clients or any other client. Keep your goals and dreams at the forefront of your mind, and operate and walk through your goals and dreams is what I taught my son growing up, and it's the way that I expect for him to live. Is, what do you want to do? Identify that, right, and keep that at the forefront of your mind. If you're out here or you're over here and you're not walking in your goals and your dreams in line with your goals and dreams, then you're somewhere doing something you don't have any business doing. And so let's stay focused. Where is it that you're trying to go? What is it that you're trying to do? Get a plan for it and turn down everything else that's out of line with it, right? Say, what does it say? Figure out what you want and say no to everything else.
And don't hit 10.
Coach Dre, you got a
Go ahead.
question for Attorney Johnson?
I
Coach
think he's
Dre?
muted. I get another question for you. Do you have any high school or collegiate players right now on your roster? And if you do, how are you dealing with that whole NIL situation? If you do.
So Georgia just opened up NIL for high school students, and so I've been speaking with high school students about the same thing. Like your name, image, and likeness is worth nothing if it's not worth anything, right? And so if you step sideways and you make a big enough mistake that somebody can't clean it up for you, then your name, image, and likeness it's a no-go, right? Like no company wants to put their name, image, and likeness on somebody what do I want to say? That's not going to be worth it, right? You can't have unclean. Unclean is not the word, but you don't want somebody that's
red flags on the background. Well, I get what you're
right,
saying.
like red flags on the background.
Yeah.
You don't want you don't want that. And so it start off now, like identify where it is you're trying to go, right? And that's the best advice that I could give anybody. And that's for myself. Identify where you're trying to go and beeline it to that point, And so right now I have one player, Caleb Okechukwu, that I'm representing for the NFL draft. And so I'm a co-agent with him with Go Time Sports out of Houston, Texas. And Caleb came from, he's a defensive lineman, came from Syracuse. And Caleb is an amazing individual. He's an amazing young man. Whether or not he plays football, just his overall demeanor, his connection to God, his faith in God, and his family. He is an awesome individual. Forget football. He's an awesome individual. And then you see him play on the field, and you would want Caleb Okechukwu in your locker room, right? You want him to be on your staff, right? Like Caleb is the player that is going to be more than just a football player.
Coach Ray, you got a question for Attorney Johnson?
Can't hear you. The chat wants to know where can they reach out to you. If you have somebody who's aspiring to be a sports agent and they want to know ways to reach out to you.
So for Georgia and I think for every other state. So here's what I would say about anybody looking to go into becoming a sports agent. Like if you're trying to represent professional athletes, and now with NIL, you don't have to do that, right? Like, and so in Georgia, anybody that's touching an athlete should register with the Secretary of State. Like it's required. So even though I'm a lawyer, I had to register with the Secretary of State because it allows, and we have to be bonded in the state of Georgia, right? And so it allows some type of governance on what you're allowed to do as far as, and it allows the government or the governing body with the Secretary of State to kind of oversee who's in the state and who's touching athletes, right? It kind of gives you somebody that's giving oversight. I think with NIL, a lot of people have come along who are not necessarily qualified, but there are no qualifications. Like the truth is, right?
Yeah.
You could come out of high school and decide that you want to be a sports agent, and then you can apply. I caution, and I would caution, because if someone is dealing with NIL, then you're dealing with contracts, right? And you need to be able to know what the language means. And so I'm hesitant. I never want to discourage anyone from becoming what they are, right? But get the qualifications that you need. You can't just walk in and become an agent, or you shouldn't. You should go and at least take some type of certifications, take some classes or something, so that you'll be able to really give adequate and effective representation. The same thing that lawyers are required to do, right? But you don't necessarily have to be a lawyer, but you should still aspire to do the thing so that you are qualified to give the advice that's necessary for an NIL contract, and the NFLPA makes sure that anybody representing a player with the NFL is going to be qualified to negotiate their contracts. And they do a background check that's so extensive. Um, to practice law, I had to have a background check. They check everything. They check your credit. They check everything. And the same thing with the NFLPA. Like I got a ticket, a speeding ticket. I had to report it, and it was like, oh, that 90-mile-per-hour ticket that I got is lead foot. Take your foot out, because I don't know how many more tickets I can get without them saying, "Hey, you just
Yeah.
living too reckless for us," right? And so it's the same thing that I preach to my kid. I preach to clients. I preach to anybody that allows me in front of their students. You know, it's the message is figure out where you're trying to go, right?
Yeah.
What it takes to get there, and do that, and nothing but that.
Coach Ray, can you hear me now?
Y'all can
You
hear
got
me?
any questions you want to have for Miss Johnson?
No, I think she just sold up the question I was asking about the NILs and stuff like that. With me having a kid that went through that process a couple of years ago, how is the process of getting ready for this NFL draft? How is that process right now?
So for us getting ready for the draft, Caleb came out in December and immediately hit the ground running after his bowl game, right? And he trained in Tampa, Florida, with a started out in Tampa, Florida, and then ended up in Houston, Texas, training with someone else, and then went for pro day. Unfortunately, he ended up with a grade one hamstring pull when he took off for the 40. And so but going into the pro day, he was receiving lots of calls from NFL teams, because he is just a great kid. They were impressed by the way that his body turned out, because he's training, he's eating right, he's doing all of the things that you expect for him to do, working on his speed and all of that. And football is not injury free, right? And I don't think they even expect that. So we're expecting that Caleb is going to get picked up anyway, despite his injury, because he is a great football player, and he knows how to work hard, and he turns the you ever heard of that when someone enters the room and the room shifts?
Yeah.
That's Caleb Okachukwu. The
All
room
right.
shifts when he steps in the room, when he steps in the locker room, when he steps out on the field.
You
He
feel
is
it.
he's the man. He's the
He's
man.
man. All right.
So
Uh,
I'm excited about what's going to happen for him. Um, and again, and that's just not just on the football field, but even off the football field. Caleb has a bright future.
Okay. We got a question for you from the chat. DC Carson want to know: do you help athletes determine their NIL value?
Well, I don't know what else I would be able to do if I didn't help them determine their value, right? Like you gotta also collaborate with a marketing team, because I'm not a marketer. That's not what I do, and that's not my role in my agency. And so we would collaborate with a marketing team to get the person out. But again, your value, right, hinges upon the choices that you make. And so DC Carson music, yeah, your value hinges on what choices do you make, and how have you lived, and not only that, right, and how do you play, right?
Yeah. Right.
Because at
Yeah.
the end of the day because at the end of the day there are exceptions to the rule always, right? Like you can make a big mistake, but if you walk out on that field and you do, or on the court, or if it's softball, if you can hit a home run every time, right? Like all of us know that there are exceptions, and that person might be able to do a little bit more than the person who has the iffy skills, right? Like, and so yes, you sit down with the parent mostly, like especially if it's a high school athlete, right? Like they aren't old enough to enter into a contract, and so their parents have to be on board. And we always want to sit down with the parents. But even as an adult, like going into the NFL, you sometimes you gotta sit down and talk to their parents. Like you're in a meeting with their parents, right? Like they are the one. A mom is the one that's making the determination of who their son is going to sign with, right? At the end of the day, if the mother is involved or if the dad is involved, and so unless they have just become an independent individual, right, that can make their own decisions, but somebody is always in their ear. And so even with Caleb, like his mother had passed away, but his sister had questions for him to ask of me. Right, like so he had somebody in his ear. And I always ask people, like, who is your person? Because what if things don't go well, or you're having a bad time, or it's just a tough time when you're preparing for the thing that you've worked so hard for, and all of this time you've played football since you were 5 years old, and here you are right on the cusp of your dreams, and you're training, and you don't have time to do anything but just train and eat and go to sleep and get up and train and eat and go to sleep, right? And it's pressure, right?
Right.
It's pressure. And so you got to have that person. Who is that person, right? And even on my team, I have not just who your personal person is, but I have a person on my team, a wellness coach. Her name is Dominique Harmon, and she's a licensed clinical social worker, but a therapist, right? But she comes to us comes to Athletes Lair as a wellness coach. And she is the person that if you're close enough to her, like you could just take a walk and just clear your mind, right? Or she does holistic health and a yoga coach. And so she can hop on the screen with you if you aren't close enough. Like Caleb wasn't close enough this year, but if he needed to do a yoga stretch, like she was there for that, right? And so just making it through and ensuring, like when he injured himself at Pro Day, you don't have to tell me that you're disappointed, right? I know that that's a disappointment, right? Because I didn't pass the test the first time. I know what disappointment feels like. And
Right.
so it's hey, I'm going to need you to check on Caleb. And they've already established a good rapport. And so it was just keep a check on Caleb. And he's got strong faith. He's got good family around him. And so he's strong. He's strong despite the injury, and we're looking forward to good things for him.
All right.
So I got
Mr. DC Carson said, great answer, great show. Mr. Steve Woodman, he said, your productivity. Uh,
Productivity.
yeah, productivity. How you pronounce that word?
Productivity.
Productivity and value, personality, along with good character and strengthen your values.
Yeah, I think he's responding to the NIL question was
yeah.
like, do you help athletes determine their NIL value? So he's saying, and they're laughing at you, well, whatever, get off of here with the laughs.
But
Yeah,
I
that's what
got
he's saying. Your productivity and values, your personality, along with your good character, strengthen your value as far as NIL, and that's with anything. That's all of us. That's even on this show, right? Like what we're
right.
doing, like all of it. If you can answer the questions, good. If you can't, stop laughing.
yeah.
Get away from here, Willie Beeman. I'm
I,
All
I
right,
got
Vaughn, you got a question?
I got one more question before we move on. So
All
my
right.
question is, how do you pick, or how do you guys look at the athlete that you guys are looking to go after as a sports agency, as a collective whole, right? Who's going out and evaluate what type of client that you guys want, right? Because as you stated, you guys want to meet them at where they're at right now. Who's the person that's going out to seek potential clients for the agency?
So for an NFL client, the only a certified agent can make contact with the client
Correct.
until they are signed, right? And then
Correct.
after that, then anybody on the team could actually have contact with them. But initially, those initial contacts until they are actually signed it's supposed to be just the agent, right? But I
Yeah.
think what you're asking is like, how does the team decide which athletes are going to Is there
Yeah.
like a rubric, right? There's a rubric that we go into, and I'm gonna be quite honest with you, like I'm a part of that because I'm the one that's funding, right? But I have a team that makes the decisions and put the narrow it down, right? And then present like, and so we look at stats, we look at history, we look at, hey, what else can you find on the person, right? And then they watch a lot of film, which I may not be the person watching the film all of the
Yeah.
time, right? I do watch some film, but I'm not the person. There is a person behind me and a team behind me that's saying, we don't know about that, right? Or yeah, he's a dog all of the time, and then we figure out what resources do they need to get to the next level, and
Now,
how much, right? What amount of money? Because at the end of the day, it's got to be some money to put forth. And just quite frankly, like we had like Caleb was down in Tampa training, and so was some young money athletes, right? And I ain't got young money, right? And so we had to, like, he was savvy enough to identify that, hey, I just got pushed over to the side a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting the attention that I was getting because they are probably paying more than Athlete Slayer, because Athlete Slayer does not have young money. And so, it's got to be a good fit. You got to make sure that they're getting the attention that they need, and that they are strong enough to advocate for themselves, right? So that they
Right.
can say, hey, this doesn't feel like it did going in. And so yeah, and then you pivot. And
yeah.
I just thank God that we've had the resources to be able to pivot each time, and to, like this year, I got a good, clean client. Like I just do. Like his character kind of stands out, right? I wish I had a picture of y'all. You could see the strength of him in just a regular photo. And I've not always had that particular client, so I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Okay. Coach Ray, you got any more questions about you,
No,
Rob?
sir, we good.
I'm good. I just wanted to ask it because I know most people they don't know how the process work, right? So I just wanted them to break. I just wanted her to break down the process for the people that's listening. They don't understand how the layers work, and the levels and all that. So I just wanted her to just. But I'm good.
Okay.
I
All
don't
right.
think that anybody would really come on a show and give their formula, right?
No. I'm not
I hope
asking you
I
that.
answered your
Oh
question,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
you're not
No,
gonna
no,
get
no,
the
no, no, no,
rubric
no,
that
no,
that
no,
they're
no,
using to
no,
present
no,
to me
no.
who to actually put my funds behind. And so
Right.
No,
Yeah.
no. It was more of just a baseline general question for people that a lot of these people are new to football and don't understand the backgrounds of how the process is going into the NFL and how agents are so important and the literature and things like that that's behind the contract, things like that. So I just wanted just a little baseline for the people that's watching. For me, I understand it. I've been
okay.
through the process. I got friends and family members that's in the NFL, so I understand all the logistics and everything behind it. So
Okay. All right. We thank you for Miss Johnson for bringing us that insight on being a sport agent and an NFL agent. Y'all also represent baseball, Major League Baseball athletes, and
No, I don't.
basketball athletes.
I'm only certified for the NFL. So those are all different tests for each sport. And I just turned, I'm over 50. So I'm 52, and I don't know about taking any more tests. Like I don't know that I have it in me
get that
for
get that
exam.
baseball money.
Oh
Huh?
yeah,
I know.
you
And so
don't look 50.
when
You
I
don't look
first,
50.
if I think if I hadn't have had to take the other the NFL test 2 times, right, that I would have done basketball right away, and I would have rolled into baseball too. But I don't know. I just don't know. Like it's other women that are in the for each of those, and so I would just refer them to them until such time that I could find the strength to sit down and because the basketball, like the football, was a lot, but the basketball regulations way outweigh football, and so they say it's easier one and done athletes. Okay, it may be easier, but the material you got to learn it, right? And so it was just a lot of material, and I just haven't had the time to do that because I'm still practicing law. God has not given me permission to walk away from the practice of law. I've been begging for years, like, oh God, give me something else to do, give me something else to do. And then he says, oh, you could go take that exam. You could go become an NFL agent if that's what you want to do. And then I didn't pass, and he was like, oh, you still want to do it? It's like, if you really want to do it, you're gonna take the test again. And so I did, and I passed. But he still says to me, I'm a lawyer. Like I am a criminal defense lawyer to the core of my being, and
Okay.
I don't get to walk away from that as of
Yeah.
yet, right?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I
Even
see.
though in every prayer it's a, when you gonna let me out?
Yeah. Hey, I also saw on your bio you in the music.
Oh yeah, that is my you know how we all have a piece of ourselves or your place of sanity where you kind of release. And so yeah, I'm a music journalist. I
Oh,
write for Smooth Jazz magazine, and it's been really fun. Like my last article I think was on Jonathan Butler, and
okay.
I've I've interviewed Dave Koz and Gerald Albright, Brian Culbertson, like lots of big, I guess, in today's contemporary artists. I've written articles, interviewed them, and written articles on there if they are dropping an album or something. And so, yeah, but that's my little piece of me. It kind of just gives me, it's my come out of law, come out of the law hat and clear your brain. And so
Okay.
listen
All
to music, and it just fell in my lap that I could start writing. And the guy asked, and I'm like, I absolutely will write. So
right.
and I'm a writer. I got some books that I've been working on, and then I'll put them to the side, and then maybe when I finally retire, I can publish a book and not have to work ever again.
All right. Well, you ought to fit right into our next segment. We're finna begin this rapid fire. So we're finna see what you know and what do you like, and we hope the chat come along. They always participate, and we're gonna let Coach Dre start it off. Rapid fire, Coach Dre. You ready for it? All right. Artists. Since we're on music, Tupac or Biggie Smalls. Which one? Who the best?
I'm going with I'm going with Tupac, and it's just because I just like the grittiness and the way he comes, and then he had the softer side with the Dear Mamas and the stuff like that. So I'm always rock with Tupac. I love Biggie, but I'm a rock with Tupac.
What you think there, Rod the Man Me? Tupac or Biggie Smalls?
Ooh, come on, chat. Let's talk. Y'all know how we do rapid fire. Get involved. I'm going Tupac. It's kind of a no brainer for me. But yeah, I'm going Tupac.
All right, Miss Johnson. What you think? Tupac?
It's Tupac for me too.
Oh man, okay. All right. We got Willie Bean in the chat said
Were you thinking Biggie?
huh?
You
Oh
said,
yeah, I'm
"Oh
big. I'm
man,
big.
like
I'm big and
you don't
small
like
all the way.
Biggie, but I don't think it. I think it's Tupac over Biggie every time."
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Well, check this out. Who has the best handles in basketball? Allen Iverson or Kyrie Irving? Help me out, chat. Got Rod. Who you think that coach Dre? Start me out. Allen Iverson or Kyrie Irving? Who got the best dribble handle?
I'm gonna go with Allen Iverson. What he could do with a basketball was crazy. The small guard, the the crossover, inside and out. can dribble out of small spaces. So I'm gonna go with the L's. I'm gonna go with Allen Iverson.
Miss Johnson?
Yeah, me too. Allen Iverson. Like
Oh my!
he's
Wow.
like the MVP of MVPs, is he not? Like
Yeah.
Allen Iverson is it? Like it's like that's a no brainer too.
Oh man, I'm Kyrie all the way. What do you think, Rod?
Allen Iverson in his prime, Kyrie can't touch him. I'm going Allen
Man,
Iverson.
we got Steve Willen in the chat said Kyrie. Willie Bingham said Kyrie. Dr. McIntyre say Allen Iverson. Chris E said Kyrie. He said Iverson carries the ball all the time. Yeah, he said he carries all the time. Okay, best male performer R&B. Chris Brown or Usher?
Ursha, baby.
Oh man.
Is that what he's saying?
I
It
ain't, hey,
ain't
I ain't even call her name, Ron. She that came out with that. She was ready with that. Who you got, Coach Drake?
I mean, they both good, but when you talk about all around, Chris Brown came out the Usher, so you got to go with Usher because Chris Brown just is maybe just a version of Usher, so you got to go with Usher.
What you think, Rob?
Usher. Usher. We agreeing on a lot of stuff tonight. It's crazy. Usher.
You got Usher too?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Check this out. Uh, the best trio in R&B singing: Tone, BBD, Bell Biv DeVoe.
It's a Tony for me.
Good answer.
I think I'm older than at
Good
least Rob the Man. I don't know about Coach Dre.
Who you got?
Hey, don't let that fool you, Doc. I'm just 42. I just don't never color it because I'm just letting people. I don't want people to think I'm younger or older. But yeah, I'm going with Tony. No doubt.
All day.
Gotta agree, Tony. Gotta agree.
Tone.
I think
Okay.
just like the talent wise for them, right? Like
Yeah.
if they were dancing, like maybe BBD, right? But not. Yeah, no.
All right, let's go to the NFL. Quarterback. Who was the best quarterback when they were playing? Dan Marino or Warren Moon?
Mm.
Start me off, Coach Dre.
Mm.
Dan
I
Marino.
gotta go with Warren Moon. I
Warren Moon?
understand that, but what Warren Moon did before he came to the NFL, and then what he did when he got to the NFL, you got to go with Warren Moon. I just like the way he did, and he did it at a consistent level. So you get what I'm saying? I like Warren Moon.
What you got, Rob?
I'm going Warren Moon on this one too. What he did to change and the game of NFL. I mean, you can't. I mean, Warren Moon all day. I
Miss
like
John?
Dan Marino a lot too.
I'd say Warren Moon as well, just on the stats and I think with him being like a black quarterback, he probably during those years when he was playing, that he's not going to get the media behind him, right, for the star effect as much as a white quarterback during those years, and so he certainly probably missed out on some star power, but
Right.
but certainly had the skills to push through and be considered the best between the two of them.
I can
Okay.
say this: if they gave Warren Moon an opportunity to play right now, in his prime, he'd probably be MVP right now.
Oh, yeah, he'll light him up. He would. All right. Women basketball. Lisa Leslie or Candace Parker? Miss Johnson?
Mm.
Yeah, that makes y'all think, that boy. Lisa Leslie or
Yeah,
Candace
you
Parker?
gave me this list. You gave me a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
And I knew you were going to break it down where I wasn't going to be able to answer, right? Like that. So what I did with the people that you gave me, I looked up stats and I came in like a nerd. I'm just and you pull a fast one on me. I can't answer that because what I did was break down each one to see which one was better than
Uh-huh.
the next one, right? And then if this one was better than that one, and this one's better than that one. So you haven't asked yet, so I'm just gonna be quiet on that part.
Okay. Who you got,
Until
Ron?
you get to the person that I chose.
All right.
I'm I'm going with Candace Parker. Everywhere she goes, she wins. No matter what city, no matter what jersey she puts on, she's won at every level. When you talk about the University of Tennessee winning national championships, when you go to the WNBA with LA winning championship, going to Chicago winning championship, and
Yep.
now with the LA, the Las Vegas Aces are winning championship. It's Candace Parker for me.
All day long. Who you got, Coach Dre?
I got Candace Parker. She one of the great. She's in when we talk about college basketball or any form of basketball, you can't mention women's basketball without mention Candace Parker. Neither Lisa
Right.
Leslie. We're gonna give her flowers because she set the groundwork. But when you talk about elite play, you talk about Candace Parker for me.
All right. We're gonna stay right there. What about Sue Bird or Maya Moore?
I can answer.
Woo-hoo!
Maya Moore.
Ooh. Oh, Sue Bird?
That's
Yeah,
easy.
That's a
that's
good answer. That's a good answer.
That's one easy. Maya Moore, baby.
Yeah. I think she's the
Well,
best one of all time.
what else is to talk
Right,
about?
no doubt. I was going to say that. Yeah, ain't nothing
Yeah,
to even talk
she
about.
the best. She the best
Ain't
one of all time, man. If you have watched women basketball like I have, she the best one of all time.
Maya Moore ain't
even nothing to
lost
talk
She
a
about.
changed
lot.
the game.
Well,
That's
Okay.
why when
Candace,
people went,
Candace,
no different. No, go ahead.
Hey,
I,
we're
I
gonna
was
stay
gonna
in
say,
college.
I was gonna say Candace Parker, who changed the game for taller athletes to dribble, pass, shoot, dribble at that size, and Maya Moore just came in and dominated after her.
Yeah, I agree. Cheryl Miller. Steve Willis said Cheryl Miller. I give him credit on that too. She changed the game too. Okay, college football. Who are the best running back? Herschel Walker or Bo Jackson?
Walker.
Her Sam.
Herschel Walker.
Her
Yeah,
Sam. Her
Herschel,
Sam.
Hey,
Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
University of Georgia, Herschel Walker.
Von Walker.
Didn't he
That's
turn out a little bit iffy though? Took too many hits or something, right? I'm just
good.
talking about politics at this point.
Oh, you talking about when you were running for
Yeah.
state senator? Okay, name the two cities that have hosted the Super Bowl. Anybody? Two
New,
cities.
New Orleans, Los Angeles.
You got one of them right.
Tampa.
So what's the question again?
That
Hold on, Reese.
Name two cities that have hosted the most Super Bowls.
New
Well,
Orleans,
New Orleans got to go
Okay.
on that list. Yeah,
Miami.
All right, she got it.
Miami. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's right.
I,
Miami.
I I answered too fast. I didn't hear all the question because I would have said Miami, but I did. I just never mind. Go ahead.
Who performed at the 1993 halftime Super Bowl? Prince or Michael Jackson?
Purple Rain.
Who
No.
performed
Yeah.
at the
Uh,
1993 halftime at the Super Bowl?
Prince, right? Ain't
Mike.
that ain't that the one with Whitney Houston saying?
I said 1993.
Michael Jackson.
That's right. It was Michael Jackson.
I had to think about it because I'm like, hold on. I know Purple Rain was powered back then, but no, it was definitely Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Miss Barbara Falls said Michael Jackson. She's right. Okay, Miss Falls, you're right on that. Boxing. Thomas Hearn or Marvin Hagner? Who will win? Ain't no wrong or right
I'm
answer.
going
Who
with
you up?
hers. I'm going,
Hearn's
I'm
good.
going with hers.
Hearns.
Hearn.
Go Hearn. You too, Rob?
Yeah.
All right. Sugar Ray Leonard or Thomas Hearn?
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sugar Ray.
Yeah, I got Sugar Ray on that one too. Yeah.
The best song by Tupac Shakur. Keep your head up or Dear Mama.
Dear Mama.
Dear Mama.
Dear Mama.
That was easy for y'all. All right. Last one for the. Can you name your 8th grade teacher in 5 seconds? 1,000.
Mr. Green.
1,002. Your 8th grade teacher.
Mr. Green. I can name that.
Well, you think alone there, Uncle Dre.
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
know.
8th grade cool.
Y'all know your eighth
I can
grade
see
teacher?
I can see
Well,
them. It's more than one, right? It's more
yeah.
than one because you
It's
change
more than one.
classes.
Yeah.
But I
Okay,
No,
okay,
it's more than
okay.
one. You had 6 classes.
I can see them,
You
but
had
I
six
can't
classes. You got to come with
name
something
them.
else.
Okay, your
Oh,
Maybe you
homeroom
said
teacher. Your
elementary
eighth
school
grade
or something.
homeroom teacher. Mr. Fails of mine.
I
oh
know
no,
it
I
was
can't
a white
remember that one.
male. All I
Yeah,
know,
Mr.
my
Banks.
homeroom
Yeah.
teacher.
Mr. Banks. I know that. I remember that. Mr. Banks. Mr. Banks for me. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, I
I
can't
can't remember.
remember all
Oh,
of
I
them. Mr.
remember.
Banks was a good teacher.
Hey, check this out. Check this one out. I just wrote it down. I just want to know what your answer gonna be on this. The best sport movie or flicks on TV. Burt Reynolds in The Longest Yard or Michael Jordan, The Last Dance.
Are we talking about based on the stats or
No,
just?
that's your best movie.
Oh, it's
Your
gonna
best
be the
movie.
longest yard, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta go with the longest yard, but I mean, I don't look at the Michael Jordan's Last Dance as a movie in a sense. It's
Because
more
it's
of a
like a
documentary.
documentary, right?
Yeah.
Right, right, right. Okay. What's going on? Can you let's look at the NFL. Let's look at the NFL. What Coach Dre? You gone?
He coming
Okay,
right now.
Ron. Let's look at the NFL. Tell me what you think. The Chicago Bears got the #1 pick coming up this year. Y'all help me out, chat. They got the number. Should they trade up? I mean, should they keep that pick or trade out of the pick?
I mean, they got to keep the pick down. They already changed Justin Fields. Now, if they still had Justin Fields on the roster, my answer changed. Because I think you keep Justin Fields, you trade down, you get more picks in the first round and get more talent. But with them trading Justin Fields, it's a hands down. You got to keep that pick and get a quarterback.
They really don't have to. They can wait next year to get Shedeur.
Nah, Shedeur don't need to go to
Yeah,
Chicago.
he
Nah,
ain't going to Chicago. He's
not the way
not.
not the way that organization's ran. Nah, we're not doing that one.
Okay. Coach Dre, Indianapolis coach, quarterback, Anthony Richardson, is on a mission as his comeback ramps up. What are your expectations of Anthony Richardson this year as the quarterback?
We gonna we gonna shock the world. We gonna show everybody why we probably would have won Rookie of the Year this year. We gonna shock the world. No,
I knew he
ain't
was
no
going
two
to
bus about that. You know what I'm
say
saying? We gonna shock the
Yeah.
world, baby. We out here, baby. We working. We working, baby. We ain't playing, man. My boy ready, man. We gonna show people why them first little weeks what y'all saw we can do. We gonna show everybody we can do that for all the whole week. You know, for every week. So
I,
yeah, I mean, he's just a great kid. Like I heard Mr. Johnson say he's a kid that I couldn't ask nothing more of him. He did everything right. He yes sir, no sir. He helped raise his little brother. Like if you saw the story, like went and pick him up on his bicycle, just him, his mama, and his little brother. So yeah, I just expect him to shock the world. And I expect big things from us this year. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do big things this year. No ifs, ands, or
I,
buts about it.
all y'all that's doubting them in the chat, don't worry. We gonna show y'all this year. We
he got to
we
stay
ready.
here.
Hey,
I'm like me, Barbara Foster said. He got to stay healthy, man.
Well, he ready. Don't worry.
yeah, and that's cool. And we take
I
receipts. We take
I
receipts.
listen.
You get what I'm
I
saying? We
listen.
take receipts. So
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Hey,
Mr.
might
Steve
have
Willis
something
say,
exclusive.
Steve Willis in the chat say he need more talent around him.
I think his talent is fine. It's just you gotta be
I
out there on the
mean,
field. Let's go.
I think we ain't gonna never do say that. We just want to be able to. Y'all got to remember the main reason why I feel like he got hurt was because we didn't have the running back, so he had to carry a lot more of the load that he probably really wouldn't have had to carry if they would have paid the running back at the beginning of the year. So if we keep the running back and we get a few more weapons, we got what we need. After Richardson gonna make it happen. No ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Miss Johnson, got a question for you. By you being on this show right here, and we talk about Colorado a lot. If Travis Hunter was to call you, said represent him, and you sign him, and y'all go number one and get about a $5 million signing bonus, will you cut me, Coach Dre, and Rod the Man Media a check out of that percentage you get?
No, sir, because I don't think ethically I'd be able to do that.
You
I
couldn't
might
do that
send
under
you.
the table for us?
I might could send you a gift for having me on the show, but I wouldn't be able to share my nope. I'm gonna follow the rules. You know how long it took me to
You
pass
try,
security?
I'm
you
just
try to get
asking
her in trouble.
questions, Doug.
You trying to get her in trouble.
Hey, I was like, well, she
What Miss Hillsman said. Mr.
can't
Hillsman
finesse the
said
league,
a
man.
percent for what? You want a percent for what?
Hey, hey, Rod, let me come to you. Is the UFL what the Rock? He's part of the ownership. Is it a pipeline to the NFL for some of the players on Colorado team since Coach Prime and the Rock a good friend if they don't get drafted to the NFL?
I mean, it's definitely a good pipeline, right? Those players are playing there. They're playing for NFL contracts at the end of the day. Some of them that didn't make the draft or undrafted free agents, they're fighting for a spot. Some people who just want to showcase their talent, just to have maintain a job are playing there. It's definitely a great relationship between Prime and The Rock. The Rock has hosted, his pro days at Jackson State where Prime was there. So it's definitely a great opportunity. What you want to see from that league is them grow more cities to give more people an opportunity. What I would love to see, right, going forward is them using that as a development system for all 30 teams in the NFL. So now you have a development team so you can move people in and up off your roster as their performance go. That's what I would love to see this go to.
But thank Coach Ray.
Yeah, I mean, bro, kind of hit it on the head. I just think it's gonna be a feeder system because maybe some of y'all not ready. You see that happen for Carter Warner. He didn't get to go straight to the NFL. He had to go a couple of different routes before he could get there and become a Hall of Famer. So I think that's good for some of the guys that maybe are not ready to be NFL players. You can still chase your dream, go to this other league, get you some playing time, and then be ready to go. So I definitely believe it's a pipeline for these kids to make it.
What you'll find though is that they are all sometimes maybe they're stuck on just NFL, right? And then they I mean, for you to go to the NFL, right? You gotta be a top notch
Yeah.
athlete, right? And they come in with a bit of pride, right? And it's a when you don't get drafted, when you don't
Yeah.
make it, and you got to fall back and go and do some more work, you got to really set your pride aside to be able to do that. And I think a lot of times they're superstars, and the pride gets in the way. And yeah, like no, I don't want to play for that league. And it's like, well, why not?
Yeah.
Right? Just go do some
But
more work and not give up on your dream.
that,
Right.
now that's a question.
Uh,
As an agent, would you tell your kid? Would you advise your player not to do that?
No, I wouldn't. Like if they don't get drafted, like that's the starting point, right? But if they don't get drafted, if you want to play football, you can't just sit down, right? You got to
yeah.
go try another league and go in the other way. But you might find that they don't want to do that.
Oh
Sometimes
yeah.
they just don't want to do it, and it's like, dude, why would you not want to do it? I thought you wanted to play football, right? Because just being out there not on a team might not get you there, right? The next time, because the next year got a whole nother draft class. And with
Yep.
COVID, the issue with they have these draft classes have been so big because the kids took the extra year, right? And so they have just that last year's draft class or the year before that, the draft class was just so big that it wasn't enough spots for the people that were there, but had COVID not, it might have been a little different. And so some people have to take the long road to get there, and they should. You just don't give up. You got to just keep going.
I just love the idea that they deal with the spring league. I just want them to expand the team so some of these players have something to improve their skill set, right? Improve the play overall, the product on the field. Because at the end of the day, America loves football, and what better way to keep a lot of these players in America and not have to go to Canada to play? Now it does hurt their league, but at the same time, you want to improve the play in general. And so, you know, you just got to take baby steps, right? And I think that's what they're doing with this league is taking baby steps to improve the game overall, have a tool for development for the people that don't want to go to school, don't want to go to class, they just want to play football, right? And still be a professional. So I love what they're doing. I'm just want to see where this goes. And I think the NFL, if the owners ever, played a part in the new CBA to expand the development league, which the NFL should have, like all the other leagues have, I think it'd be a great idea and it'll help them expand tremendously, and also put these programs in cities where they don't have football programs at, and that's where it'll take off to the next level.
Anybody else got anything on that? They don't? All right. Hey, let's look at the Los Angeles Rams. They lost Raheem Morris to Atlanta Falcons as a head coach. Aaron Donaldson retired. What's your expectation for them this year, Coach Ray?
For them to be rebuilding, I just expect them to have to be on a rebuild. You got a quarterback that's probably, maybe he may got one more good year in him. You don't really got no weapons. The defense, you lost your leader. So I think they're in a rebuild mode. I think that's what I would be. I think that's what they're talking about rebuilding. So that's what I expect them to be in a rebuilding mode this year.
I look at the Rams as a solid team. You still got Matthew Stafford. You got weapons on the outside with Cooper Cup and Paul, who was in the runnings for Rookie of the Year. I think they got two solid receivers that they can count on each week. They got a solid tight end that they can go up the middle with. The thing with the Rams is about blocking. Can they run block and can they pass block long enough for Matthew Stafford to get the ball out of his hands? But I wouldn't sleep on the Los Angeles Rams this year. I know people think they're going to be down because they don't have Aaron Donaldson, but I just truly believe that they'll probably be 9-7. That's how I look at their team.
You think they're gonna go 9-7 without Aaron Donaldson?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. All right. All right.
When you look at the division though, they got the Seahawks, they got the
Right.
49ers, they got the Arizona Cardinals, right? When you look at the three teams in the division, right, who's the head person? The head person is the 49ers, right?
Right.
And then you got Seattle, which they still got question marks in certain places. And then you look at the Arizona Cardinals; they're looking to bounce back. Look where they're picking in the draft. They're picking fourth, right? Because Kyler Murray was out for the entire season. Kyler Murray still has a lot to prove. So when you look at the scenarios and who's in the division, they can pull a 9-7. In that sense.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. How you think they're gonna do this year? They got two new quarterbacks coming in to battle. Got Justin Fields. Got Russell Wilson. How you think they're gonna come out this year? I think they're gonna do good this year. I think they're gonna do better than they did last year.
I mean, when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, they just gonna find a way to win. No matter what the quarterback play looks like. I know some quarterbacks get there and they forget how to play football. That just goes out the window. But they're always gonna win. They're gonna have a winning season. Mike Thomas is gonna find a way to have a winning season. He don't care how many injuries, what the team suffers. They're gonna find a way to win.
Always.
So you just can't count out the Steelers. I do like some of the additions that they made to their team this year. But we're gonna see how it plays out. But when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're gonna find a way to win.
Yesterday, I was looking at the spring practice game. Georgia, LSU, Miami, and Ohio State. I know you don't show that much in the spring game, but I didn't see nothing that impressed me like how that I have seen of Colorado from well off media. Just in they practice, man. I'm telling y'all, doubters out there of Coach Prime at Colorado this year. Don't sleep on them guys this year. They got the best wide receiver group in college football. I was finna say the Big 12, but I'm going to say college football. Omarion Miller, if I was a sport agent, oh, that's the guy I would hang my hat on. That's my meal ticket. Yeah. Coach Ray, did you see in the spring game practice yesterday? Rod, he's something wrong with it. Rod, do you look at it?
Yeah, I heard you. I mean, when you look at Amari Miller, he's stepping up. The kid is that's hungry, that's ready to fight, that's ready to compete every day. When you look at it, he's got a big season ahead of him. But what it's showing you is when people say, "Hey, they're not developing people, they're not doing this, they're not doing that." Look at this kid that came in, right? He
Right,
came in as a freshman last year. You see the growth year two. So that's what you want to see out of a program, right? When they say prime, don't take all these high school kids, this, that, and the third. You're starting to see the progress and the development of these players. So I just expect Amari Miller to have a great season, but it also shows you that you can't always look at when a new player comes in that they're going to step in and take somebody's job. You know, the players is there, they're hungry, they're motivated, they're ready to go, they're ready to fight. So uh, I'm just looking for him to have a great season. It's definitely huge for Colorado if he has a great season because it helps the state of Louisiana where they're recruiting at, right? Trying to get more recruits out of the state of Louisiana, which is enriched with talent. That's one of the football states. So anytime you can get somebody out of Louisiana and they can produce at a high level and a high clip, you want to take that. But go ahead, Coach Ray.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you saw a lot. The Gators had their spring game. I would again. A lot of people ain't gonna show stuff, but you're right. You didn't see a lot that impressed you. Um,
I did.
watching watching Alabama game, it looked like the offense was going up and down the field. But the transfer portal gonna help a lot of people. You're gonna see some kids jump in the transfer portal, and you know these are not the teams you're gonna see in the fall. So that's why I try not to judge nobody team right now because that's not the team you're gonna see in the fall because everybody gonna add somebody, they gonna lose somebody. So let's see what happens after the 30th. See what's on these people's roster and see what the summer brings before I'm gonna judge anybody.
Yeah, that I was piggyback. The hardest thing right now is to go out and say what a team gonna look like right now. With every team potentially having 15 to 20 kids in the transfer portal because the portal's gonna be chaos. Just because of how many a lot of people forget how many rosters change or how many position coach or head coaches change after the signing period was over. So that's automatically going to change right there of what type of kid, what type of talent, what evaluating processes of each team. So a lot of the kids that didn't have a chance with the former style might have a chance with this style, which might push out this or that person. So you're going to see a lot of kids hit the portal, but also there's a lot of these teams in college football that's over scholarship, and those are the things that you're not realizing of why some of these kids are going into the
Yeah,
portal. They don't have
yeah,
enough scholarships.
right,
And so we're not forgetting about this. So when you see a team like Texas and they're losing all these players and all these recruits that came in as freshmen last year, they're over scholarship. You got to think there's only 85 scholarships, so now there's roster management.
right,
If you're not in that first and second team, you pretty much you're not gonna pretty much play a key to the season. That's how they're looking at it, right? But that's not to
right,
say an injury don't happen and you can't move up to the second one. But if you have talent and you're on a loaded team, it might be a better opportunity for you to go to another team where it may make sense for you as a business decision. And that's what you're seeing with these kids nowadays. So everybody's looking for the next opportunity at another school because what your talents might fit for this might help you better in a different situation, or you might be the piece that they're missing.
when you look at
Yes,
the
yeah.
HBCU, go ahead, Coach Ray.
No, that's it. I was just saying that's facts. I mean, the roster is the biggest thing right now.
When you look at the HBCU, like Jackson State, uh, FAMU, would they ever have a player that'll go in the first round in the draft?
I think it could happen. I
Why they
just
don't
think
get the attention?
we got
What I mean, you got so many players from the HBCU in the Hall of Fame. My understand, why I can't understand is why they don't get the attention that the Power Five conference get.
The
well,
funding,
let's
the
let's
funding for the resources there for the team when they're actually there. You know, they don't have the funding to really to recruit that type of player. When you get there, the facilities are not as, you know, plush as the next place. It, it's not just the facilities, but the your diet, right?
the
It takes a
dorms.
lot to run
Yeah.
a football program, and so, you know, as a parent who went whose kid was highly recruited, you know, you go on all of these trips and you look and you want to see all of this stuff to make the choice. You know, you want your kid to be able to matriculate academically, right? Like they don't have the academic support to start with. Secondly, you want to make sure that they're going to have enough to eat. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to have to
Preach.
supplement because their diets have a lot to do with their development as a player, right? And so if you go to a Power Five school and they got a whole smoothie machine and a fruit everywhere and they eat steaks. I had a player that was headed to the NFL and I funded meals, right? A meal plan for him because he can't work out and not what you know what he told me? I eat steak. Not every day. You don't eat steak off of the. This is athlete's lair, right? You want to be comfortable, but you got to eat some vegetables too. And he said, "I eat steak." No, you're gonna eat some salmon, and you're gonna eat meatballs, and so you know, like, and so just the budget, the overall budget is what prevents a player who's in his head and is the big guy, he's the man. He ain't trying to go to no HBCU unless his mama or dad came from an HBCU, and you know, or I mean, that's it's the funding. It's just not there.
it, I mean, she hit it on the head, and then you know we got to be honest with ourselves. When we had those guys going in the first round of all these Hall of Famers, is because they couldn't get into these other schools. You get what I'm saying? We have to be
Yeah.
honest with ourselves. You get what I'm saying? They had to go to the HBCU. That was the only schools that would take them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that's the biggest. That's one of the biggest reasons. And then now we don't have the funding, and you don't have what everybody else have. Like Dion was able to get those kids to come to Jackson State because he was changing the university and he was bringing in the revenue and he was bringing in the money. So that's why I don't see why these HBCUs won't hire Ed Reed and they won't hire Ray Lewis. They won't hire Andre Johnson because these guys have the ability to take your university to the level it needs to be at. So
And they
now
would
you
also
can't.
create some funding because if you got some star power behind it, you got people attending the games, and you got um, alumni willing to fund to, you know what I'm saying, to give more money because the player needs this, and they have the power to bring in some sponsorship. You know, a higher level of sponsorship from you know, the Nike or what Under Armour, whoever, Adidas, whoever is funding the clothing line, right? The apparel for the team, and so you they should look at that. You know, it's not just. But again, if it's not important enough to the alumni, to
Yep.
There you
the
go.
people that
There
are
you
making
go.
the decisions as far as managing the budget, right?
Right.
Then you end up with what you get, kind of, sort of, you know. And it can
Hey,
be
what?
bad to watch a HBCU game, like, you know, at homecoming you go to a game, and of course they've picked the worst team that they can play, right, at a homecoming because you want to
Yeah.
make sure that you win. But it's just hard to watch. Quite
Yep.
frankly, just sitting on the sideline it's hard to watch. And so I don't think they intend at homecoming at an
And
HBCU
then the big
homecoming for you to really be watching the game because everybody is doing all kinds of other stuff, right? But
Right.
having said all of that, I'm a product of an HBCU. I went on a full scholarship for a bachelor's and a master's degree, and I wouldn't trade that experience for anything in this world.
Amen. Amen.
I just when you just look at the situations, it's the administration has to want it. They
Yeah,
have to want it. And a
Right.
lot of
and
we
then
put
they'll find the money for it.
yeah. If they don't want it to be
Listen,
right, then they ain't gonna be right.
listen. So let's just take FAMU for instance. You find a coach left. The coach you got right now is the coach that you wanted, but you went out and paid a hiring firm to tell you that that was the coach you needed to get.
Yeah. Right.
You see what I'm saying? You just wasted
Waste
the
resources.
university money. You wasted the resources that could have went back into the school with hiring a firm that telling you who should have been hired when you could have listened to your alumni and listened to the kids that was there, and you could have got the guy that you got now. So, and then the biggest thing be is we got to get behind the black university. Like she said, the alumni not giving back, this person ain't giving back, but when you get a star in there, like you say, you can get people to come and give you money and do this and do that. And so that's what we got to do. They don't want to do it because they don't want people to have that kind of power. But that's what
But
you're gonna have to do for us to take. That's what you're gonna have to do for us to go to the next level.
here's and to push back even more on that situation, right? If you look at Jackson State, right, what everything that Prime did, Jackson State's trying to strip all of it after he left. Like just bit on what he did. That's what's helping funding you. Like I just don't get it in that situation of you got the master plan, you got the answers to the test, show you how to do it to a T, and then we come and we try to strip everything away because he ain't there no more. No, just keep building on what he already showed you what to do, and
Right.
everything will keep rolling.
Right. Yeah. All right. But that was just interesting to me, man. I just can't understand why the talent level that they have, and then when they do make it as a undrafted free agent, and somehow in the past they have made it to the Hall of Fame, and I just can't understand why they can't get drafted in a higher rate uh,
I
round pick.
mean,
You know what I'm
just
saying? It's just
but
crazy to me when you think about that. But
well, here's the thing to that, right? How many NFL teams will spend a recess to go to HBCUs?
not I don't know now.
They even have the HBCU combine, right? Or right the yeah, it's the HBCU combine that
Yeah,
they do in New
They got a whole
Orleans, right?
game now. They got a whole game now.
Would you say?
They got a whole game. They got a whole game now. The HBCU got their own singer like bowl thing
Right.
with the yeah. So they have everything, but it's like you look at their combine and you look at the mid combine, and it's just not the same. And then scouts
It's
aren't
not the
coming.
same. No, it's
Wow.
not
It's
the
not the
same.
same.
And quite frankly, like the bottom line is, it's never going to be the same, right? Like we are underdogs, we are underpaid, we're under. It's just like it's the black tax, right, on every other career choice, right? And so you got to just work harder than the next person to make it, right? And so it's never going to be equal, and so we just got to make what we have and use the resources that you have and try to make the best out of it. But yeah,
Mhm.
the power people at the people that are making the choices at the top, that is deciding where the money is going, they got to get on board. And quite frankly, the people that are making the donations to those schools that are pushing them and driving them in different directions have to hold them accountable. They got to make some, make them fund the football team, fund the sports, you know what I'm saying, so that they have what they need to be able to draw a bigger name so that you can have a better team.
Okay. So, all right, to close it out, uh, don't touch two. What do Colorado have to do to protect their quarterback this year? Coach Dre.
I think we've addressed it. I think we got a great offensive line. We got a great offensive line coach. I feel like we're gonna go get some more guys in the portal to round out our offensive line. But right now, I'm very pleased with the offensive line that we got, with the offensive coaching that we are getting. And again, I'm always telling you, it's a mentality to play offensive line. We got the right kind of guys with the right kind of mentality. They got that. You see that mean streak in them. I think I heard Vincent tell the D line coach the other day. I thought he said we playing football later. He thought that Vincent was going a little rough. He was saying we playing football, so we got them kids with the right kind of mind frame and the right kind of attitude. So I feel good where we at now. Where we add some more offensive line, but I feel we're great where we at right now.
Like Coach Drake said it. I mean, for me, is keep Shedeur upright. That's the best thing, the best way how to win games. Keep Shedeur upright. Keep the green off his jersey. I don't care what color we wearing, white, black, yellow, purple, whatever. Keep the green stains off of Shedeur Sanders, and that means Shedeur Sanders not laying on his back, running for his life, and in the ground. That's what that means. But as long as Shedeur has time to throw the ball to find open receivers, hand the ball off and open running lanes, we're good.
All right. Uh, we'll end it right there. We'll go around the horn and give us y'all closing remarks, and we'll end the show. Start us off, Coach Dre.
Coach Drake can end it. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. As always, man, it's a pleasure. Thank you for jumping on with us on this Sunday show. It's a pleasure working with you guys on this Sunday.
Thank you
Miss
for
Johnson,
having me.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to be on. I enjoyed it and I appreciate you having me.
Coach Dre.
Uh, if we send no ships out, no ships will come in, and if there's no contest, nobody can win. Games can't be won if they haven't been played, and prayers can't be answered if they haven't been prayed. Man, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate Miss Johnson for coming and joining us. This is also an awesome platform. I want to thank BWatts. I want to thank my brother Rob the man. And as always, man, be blessed. Be a blessing because you are a blessing. Coach Dre, love y'all.
All right. I would just like to say thank you, Miss Johnson, for being a part of our panel tonight. Thank you for sharing your business with us and everything that you do. We appreciate you, and we hope you don't be a stranger. I'll be at you again to come back and join the panel. And we'll always thank Rod the Man Media for being a part of the show on Sundays. We're going to keep going until the wheels fall off. Him and Coach Dre. No, Coach Dre, well, he's going out down there in Florida. We appreciate him. And we also thank the people who participated in the chat. I think we had over, man, they probably the biggest chat we ever had. But we had almost 200 people tune in live. And I'm sure when we post online, it's going to be about 3 to 4 thousand people that going to watch this show. And I just like to say thank you to each and one of you. And always remember, share whatever you have with your sisters and your brothers. You always have more than enough to wish to share. And always remember, if you be good to God, God will be good to you. And until next time, y'all be blessed. Check your message, Miss Johnson.
Certainly. Thank you
All right.
all. Bye bye
All right,
now.
Rob. See you next Sunday, buddy.